Hey, what's up, Spooky fam? Welcome to day 5, the final day, the final movie review of Cult Horror Movie Week. It's been a long and interesting week, but I feel like we've landed on the movie that is the most culty, and this is Eyes Wide Shut.
It's only a dream.
Eyes Wide Shut was directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1999. It started, the movie process started in 1996, but we didn't get the final product until 1999. But this movie is a lot, and I'm not going to be diving into it like I did with the other movies this week. We're going to kind of condense this whole story a little bit because, like I said, it's a lot. It's almost Django Unchained long. It's 2 hours and 35 minutes, so I'm not going to sit here and give you the whole 2 hour and 35 minute synopsis. That would be a disservice. Just go watch the movie. It's very good. So, Eyes Wide Shut is about a couple played by Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. And if you know me, you know that I hate Tom Cruise for many reasons, specifically the middle tooth. But anyways, after his wife Alice tells him about her sexual fantasies, Bill Hartford sets out on a night of sexual adventure. After a handful of unsuccessful encounters, he meets an old friend, Nick Nightingale, now a musician, who tells him of strange sex parties where Nick is required to play piano blindfolded. All of the men are costumed with masks, and all of the women are young and beautiful. Hartford finds a costume, heads off to the party, and once there, he is recognized despite the mask, and he is in great danger. He manages to separate himself, but the threat is real and sinister, and based on that synopsis, you wouldn't even realize that there's a whole other just like marital drama side to this story, because although it dives into very culty behavior, there is so much marital issues and infidelity and so much going on in this story that I think is really important when you go ahead and watch the movie. And I stumbled on an article while I was researching this about a man who watched this movie over 100 times in 2 years, and I think that's fascinating because when you do that, I watched Pitch Perfect close to 100 times in about 6 months, but I think it's important when you like a movie that much for you to go on and dive into it a lot, because you get everything the director is trying to give to you and you're really digesting the whole work of art that way. Pitch Perfect might not be a work of art, but Eyes Wide Shut certainly is. So about the film. Eyes Wide Shut is an erotic thriller, which I love the title on that. Basic Instinct is one that comes right to mind when I think of erotic thrillers. It's also a secret expose, which you wouldn't normally, I don't know, I wouldn't think secret expose when I think Kubrick. I think of artsy films when I think of Kubrick, but this is a secret expose about the unspoken secret societies among the elite. We also explore sexual fantasies and frustration between a married couple. We view a marriage full of lies and looking the other way. This film is beautifully lit with dreamy neons and Christmas lights. There is a whole Christmas backdrop, Christmas setting in this movie. And one thing I do want to point out that I think is really funny that I was talking to Alex about before I filmed this is some of the shots that show New York City are filmed with Tom Cruise walking on a treadmill, and it's all green screen because it's actually filmed in the UK. But this movie is shot in a way to make us question everything. Is this a dream? Is this all a scenario playing out in one's head? Did he actually witness what he witnessed? Is his marriage actually falling apart? It's just shot to make you feel like you're questioning everything. In my opinion, Eyes Wide Shut shows the underbelly of a wealthy, happy marriage in ways that we don't normally get to view that because we become a fly on the wall. And finally, I'm going to just end this little about the film segment off with a quote from Chris Isaak, because they do play a Chris Isaak song in the movie, not this one, but strange what desire can make foolish people do. That's exactly what I thought of when I watched Tom Cruise that whole movie. So just some fun facts about Eyes Wide Shut before we wrap it up, because this movie was a lot, and like I said, I just feel like it would be a disservice for me to dive into this if you haven't seen the full movie, and I don't want to spoil anything because it's a lot to unpack. But Kubrick tragically and unexpectedly passed away 4 days after submitting the final cut of this movie to Warner Brothers, and this is said to be his unfinished masterpiece, but the only thing that really wasn't finished was a little bit of editing and the score, so he finished the film. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise signed off on a contract that stated that it was an open clause contract and they had no end date to when this movie was filmed. They were there. It was filmed for so long that their 2 children ended up acquiring British accents, which I think is hilarious. Speaking of long shoots, this movie was shot over the course of 400 plus probably days, and it is in the Guinness World Records at the time being the longest shot film of all time. I don't know if anything has really surpassed that because I haven't looked into it. And the scene near the end, there's a whole like billiards table. That whole scene near the end took 3 weeks to shoot, and they shot it 200 times and told Tom Cruise to act differently every single time. So he liked to push his actors to the point of insanity. There was also a scene where he made Tom Cruise walk through a door 92 times. So I would have been fed up at that point. The password in the movie, which is Fidelio, means faithful in Latin, which I think is a fun little secret word. And 1 million feet of film was used to film this movie. And it's often seen as a critique on Scientology, which I think is really funny because Tom Cruise is like the head of Scientology now. So like, just like Elizabeth Moss, what are you doing? You're in The Handmaid's Tale. This is contradictory. That's the perfect place for me to leave this video today before I get too heated about Elizabeth Moss. Okay, anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed Cult Horror Movie Week. Next month, we're going to dive into some body horror. I'm very excited about that. So share the playlist with a friend, and I will see you soon. Tomorrow, Alex and I will be going live to haul all of these DVDs, and I will be coming out with my ABCs of Death ranking part 2 video. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you soon. Sayonara, Spooky fam.